I'm back. I'm back. Where was I? Oh, okay. So then the third week, so this would have been, well, 2 weeks in, and then 3, 4. This would have been the fifth week after my potential or possible exposure in Reno. Um, so this fifth week, now it's moved down into my throat. And what's trippy about this is I wasn't sick, really. I mean, I've had a cold, I've had congestion before, where I just have it coming out one side and I have to keep a napkin right there just to get some sleep, or where you just can't sleep, you just can't breathe, you have to breathe out your mouth, and it's, I mean, I've had colds before. I've had colds. This was nothing. The whole entire time it was really nothing. I mean, probably the worst part was the strangeness of the water that was coming out my right side when it first came out, when it first started. I mean, I never really had a river flowing out my nose before, but it was like that for the most part. Very weird. Like all this water was coming from somewhere. Um, anyway, so I called so I've been going to work, and I work in an old folks home, by the way. Going to work, I wear a mask when I get there, just because if I did have it, I was like, okay, I'm not going to cough on these people. I'm pretty good about, not touching them, not sneezing on them, not coughing on them or even around them. I go outside to cough. I don't even cough into my shoulder in the building. I mean, I might blow my nose, usually I go outside to do that too lately. So, I took the precautions. I went to work, but when my throat got sore the other night, I actually attempted to call. I called in, and since I work in an old folks home, we're kind of short staffed. There really was. My boss was going to have to stop what she was doing, and she didn't really want to do it. And we talked about the coronavirus a little bit, and how, I mean, there's no way to get tested at all because there's no tests. They're not readily available. And in order to get tested, you have to have certain criteria, and those criteria really I didn't have either. And those are a fever and coughing or shortness of breath. I wasn't having any of those things. I tried to buy a thermometer at one point since this pandemic has started, and they're all sold out, just like the toilet paper. So I really don't, but I don't think I haven't felt sick. I have not felt sick. That's what's strange about it. So anyway, I ended up going to work, and I continued to work the whole time. I don't know. After I read that article about the immune system and how it seems like this coronavirus is very smart. It's very dedicated, devoted, determined to, and I think that it hides out. I mean, honestly, I think that it's quite possible. I was exposed. I picked one up in the casino, touched it, and brought it to my face, and I think that's why my nose started running 2 weeks later, exactly to the day that I was up there, and I think I picked one up and it was my nose. I mean, I really do, and I've had this low symptomatic, but it's been very long, drawn out. It's almost as if the virus is just waiting to see if it can take hold, and it's holding out. It's hiding out. It's waiting so it can take a kill, like it can pounce on me. I mean, I think I'm pretty safe because I've never had pneumonia, so my lungs are not scarred. I do smoke a little bit, but not heavily. I don't smoke tobacco, but I mean, there's no way to get tested. So we're in California, as in most states, the governor's told us to stay home, and it's actually, I think, working out pretty good. Our city has not had any. Our county finally had 4. Now they're up to 5 cases, but our city hasn't had any until today. Today, a lady who works at a local bank, her husband works at a next town over, like 12 miles away, grocery store. They had been traveling recently to somewhere, I don't know where, and lo and behold, they came back carrying the virus, not being sick. So she's been going to work here in Orville, my town, and he's been going to work in Gridley. And God knows how many people they have infected. That virus I believe, is going to hit this town. I believe it's quite possible that I've been carrying it. I didn't mean to. I haven't had the symptoms that they're warning about. I've had these minor symptoms, but what's weird is that it just keeps going on and on and on. It just keeps going on and on. I mean, my throat doesn't hurt that much, like I said, my glands do. But here's the thing that's happened today that really got me wanting to do this video. and to talk to everybody, is I was telling you about the article I read or the research paper I read where they're explaining how the human immune system, like, it has different stages, different responses that it does throughout the course of having something that it's trying to get rid of. And talked about it, coronavirus will wait until it gets to that third stage, and then it somehow causes a chaotic response in the immune system, which means it's not really getting rid of the virus, and that's when the virus can go in and cause pneumonia and all this stuff, and water in the lungs. But so this chaos of the immune system. So I was cooking dinner the other day. I actually had this jacket on, and I went like this because I needed to get my sleeve down. My hands had stuff in them, I don't know, food or whatever. I didn't want to go like this. I didn't want to, so I kind of put my hand up like this to get the sleeve to go down. And my knuckles hit the ceiling, the fan, the fan that goes above the stove, and it hurt like dickens. That was yesterday. Well, today, my knuckle. Let me try to show you here. Where's it at? There we go. That sore right there. It looks like no sore I've ever had before. I've hit myself before. I've had abrasions. This thing does not look like a normal immune system response for me. It's right there. See that? It's got a head on it. But what's trippy is it's swollen. Look at that. It's like a blood blister. See? It's like a blood blister. It hurts like a dickens. My bones hurt in my hand. Like it's hard for me to bend my finger right now. And I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping, but there's just something strange going on. I've never had a wound like this before, and it hurts so bad. And that's really what's got me tripping, and it's just the way it looks. But that, coupled with my exposure, or the potential exposure, being in a place where someone has tested positive, and then 14 days later, I started having symptoms, and how mild they were. And during that period of time when I was having the cold, there was a point when I was eating something and I thought to myself, my gosh, I can't taste this. Well, it turns out that's another symptom now they're finding out with lots of people. Anyway, so that's my little story for right now about how it's going. I want to tell you everything that's been going on. Like, I went into the bank to cash my check. There's a note that says, for social distancing, please set your paperwork down, your deposit slip or whatever, and then step back a couple of feet so you're never really right up next to the teller. I don't know if she's wearing gloves, or I don't think I was wearing gloves. They're telling us to wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. And so the more I've just been learning about this, I've had an opportunity to hang out with my grandson today. He's 12, and he has been out of school for a week now, and they're not planning to go back until the end of April. So he's bored. Then his mom and his sister and him just moved to a new house out kind of in the country, so he doesn't have easy access to his friends. But he can't go to his friends anyway because we're on lockdown. But anyway, so he managed to come over today, and I've noticed that some families aren't even getting together at all. They're staying in their own homes even though they're related, which I know being related doesn't mean anything, but they seem, my daughter and the kids seem healthy. I got a cold, but I'm not, having a shortness of breath. I'm not having a fever. So we're continuing to see each other. Not every day all the time, but just, I'm not going to not see them. Anyway, so my grandson's really having fever. He's thinking, that kids can't get it. All those stupid things that have been said. He's not really interested. He thinks I'm tripping when I try to explain to him how dangerous this is. And trying to, and so I decided to focus on teaching him, the hand washing part of it. I told him, keep your hands clean, don't touch anything. If somebody's coughing, get away from them, and don't cough around anybody because you could have it and I don't have it. But if I came back with it, it's very possible that they all have it. And it's mild, thank God, because we have strong immune systems, but we could be spreading it. Could be. I called to try to get a test, and of course, I was told to come on down to the ER and they'd question me, but I mean, the only thing I have going for me mainly that would have gotten me a test was that I work in an old folks home. It's not really a medical facility though. So apparently, if you're a health person, they will send your sample off for testing. But anyway, just trying to get through to my grandson, that he could be infecting other people, because he has a cold today. He's got the postnasal drip just like I had. He's having to sneeze and cough, and he says, "Oh, it's just allergies, it's allergies." But he's not. He keeps saying, "I'm not sick, I'm not sick," and he's not. It's mild, but he's got all this nasal stuff going on, and I don't know. My theory, and I really would like to get tested so I know if I'm correct, but I think this coronavirus is capable of laying in wait inside our bodies, to try and get a handle on it and like take control over, like maybe it studies us or something, but it has the ability to move down towards the vulnerable target, what it wants to do, the thing where it can get where people will die, in the lungs, the respiratory part of it. And it seems like, I don't feel like it's getting into my lungs. I haven't coughed once through this. But the getting in my throat really scared me. My throat thing scared me because my glands were really bad. Woo, they were on high guard. My immune system was definitely on high alert. And I'm just hoping that coronavirus hasn't caused my immune system to go into some chaotic measures, like in response to the foreign matter that must have gotten in my hand when I slammed it against the ceiling fan. Grease or whatever may have been up there. Dust. But why am I having such an odd response to that? It's unusual, like one I've never had or seen. Yeah. So some people are still getting to go to work. The store people are working, bank people are working. Um, but the casinos closed down. That's sad. But I'm saving money. Anyway, we've had the two known cases today, and I'll try to make another video in a couple of days and see what the numbers are like now in my town. Okay, over and out. Thanks for listening.